It's interesting when you come in and you're picked high, and we've been picked high before, and I think we deserve to be up there. I'm not sure we deserve to be where we are, and I'm not sure anybody does at this state and time because of the parity that still is in college basketball. And I do think we've got a good team. I think we've got a veteran team. I think we've added some pieces. We've got some guys back healthy. You put all those things together, I think it gives you a shot.
Well, the media seems to think that Tom Izzo's team has more than a shot. The expectation's very high. The unanimous pick as the preseason top team in the Big Ten at Media Day today, and we are very pleased to welcome the Cape Crusader,
Halloween,
Jimmy Jackson.
On the back
and
too,
there are a lot of people who, during your career, would have said that was a very appropriate cape for you to be wearing. And how about an S for Stephen Bardo? We welcome the former Flying Illini star to the BTN team, making his debut. Welcome. Great to have you, Steve.
It's great to be here. Thanks a lot, man. I don't have a cape on, but,
But you provided the kryptonite because I hated playing at Assembly Hall. I mean, I hated it. We won, but I hated playing.
Well, we needed a guy. Here was the thing. We felt like we were really good in basketball. We needed a guy who had played in the Final Four. And so...
not only watched it, but played in it.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah. So we went out. And we got Steven. If you're going to take a dig at him.
Well, I took a dig, but you didn't have to go there.
Well,
let him rebuttal.
Well, it's very early on. He feels, he's trying to maintain decorum.
That's right.
Let's get into this a little bit. Michigan State is the overwhelming favorite. What's a question mark for the Spartans in your mind?
Well, Tom Izzo said it. He said about the health of the team. Everybody being healthy. You saw what happened when Gary Harris went out and Brandon Dawson. But for me, guys, it's real simple. It's Keith Appling. And I say that because in college basketball, as we all know, the point guard position is crucial to the success of the team. And Keith Appling has taken strides. He's taken a lot of hits from not maybe being as vocal as a Mateen Cleaves or Eric Snow. But talking to him at Media Day, it seems that he finally gets it, that he understands that on and off the court, he has to be the vocal leader, inspirational leader, the guy that does all the little things, the extension of a coach on the court. And I think for Michigan State, if you're talking about winning the national championship, Keith Appling has to be the key.
I agree with you, Jim, and he's got to share the wealth because we're talking Adrian Payne is a possible lottery pick. B.J. Dawson is an outstanding Big Ten player, and Gary Harris is a player of the conference preseason. So he's got an added duty not to just play well, but he's got to equally distribute the basketball to some very capable players, and that's not always easy to do when everybody's trying to get to the next level.
And Tom Izzo has complimented his passing, says that's the thing that's really improved with Keith Appling. Same question, different team. Michigan lost a lot. I mean, you lose Trey Burke, who was the Conference Player of the Year, Tim Hardaway Jr., who's playing in the NBA. So there's a lot that's gone there. That's got to be a question, but what else concerns you about the Wolverines?
Well, the biggest thing is Mitch McGary's health, his back, because we've seen this before with Jared Sullinger, a big man in the Big Ten going through the season off and on. He's not practiced yet, but he seems like he's doing okay. We spoke with him at Media Day today, and he says he's fine. He can play at any time, but you really have to be careful because this is a young man. The way he was playing last season down the stretch in the NCAA tournament, I thought he would be preseason pick for Player of the Year in the Big Ten the way he played.
Averaging a double-double in the NCAA tournament. He was phenomenal.
Well, here's a question not only for Mitch, but for the team. Can you handle success? How do you come back after being very successful, getting into the championship game, almost winning it? Now the expectation level is a lot higher. You're a young team. You're a young team still, no matter what happens. So how can you handle those expectations?
Yeah, a target on the back kind of team. What about Ohio State? They were the next pick in that preseason poll. Where do you see the Buckeyes?
It's interesting this team is because for 2 years, you think about it, you had a Jared Sullinger inside you can go to. Last year was the Deshaun Thomas you could go to in the post. Steve, I'm be honest with you, this year you don't have a guy inside that you can typically go to and get one of those hard baskets. You don't. LaQuentin Ross is more of a guy that's going to spot up on the perimeter. Very deep in the backcourt, this Ohio State team is. You talk about putting pressure with Shannon Scott and Aaron Kraft getting out and running. But when they need baskets, when they play against a Michigan State, an Iowa, who are going to pound the ball inside, can they get those physical points inside? And that's the question that Ohio State and Thad Matta is going to have to answer.
Yeah, I agree with you. And LaQuentin Ross is going to have to develop some post-game because he's going to be a stretch 4, sometimes a 5 in a very small lineup with Ohio State.
Yeah, one guy gone from the starting lineup, but a very, very important guy. A team that's been to 4 straight Sweet 16s, the longest streak in the nation. Is there a breakthrough team in your mind in the Big Ten this year?
We had 5 teams that didn't get to the tournament last year. One of those teams, Iowa, to me will be an upper echelon fighting the Wisconsin Badgers for that number 4 spot. You're talking about a team that got to the NIT finals, went overseas, has been playing ever since last April pretty much, and they're 10 deep. Devin Marble, you talking about Woodbury, White, Gasell. Now Peter Juk coming in, the freshman from Des Moines, Iowa, will stretch the floor. This is a deep team, very dangerous team, and they'll get up and down the court.
Yeah, understanding how to win, too. We talk about it all the time. You have the talent, but when you haven't won, do you really know how to win and sustain that? That's going to be a question for this Iowa team because they're really deep in position, in particular in the forward position, a playmaker and Roy Devin Marble. But when you win a game, can you follow it up?
Right.
Or when you lose a game that you were supposed to win, how do you come back? Those are going to be some of the questions that Iowa team has to answer as well.
They figured out how to win at home.
Right.
They need to win on the road. But again, 93% of the scoring back. I mean, incredibly veteran, experienced team with the Hawkeyes. So we've talked about 4 teams at this point. We have yet to, other than one minor aside, mention Wisconsin, which seems like a huge oversight because every single year that Bo Ryan's been there, they've finished in the top 4. Your son Trayvon, obviously, a very important part of that team as one of the top guards. What's your sense, with all of the losses they had in the front court, of what this team's going to look like?
Very different. Wisconsin fans and fans in general that are accustomed to watching this Wisconsin team play, think about slow trotting a little bit. It's not going to be the case because you lose a Ryan Evans, Mike Bruzewicz, and Jarek Birdwin inside. Those are post-up players that you can get basket from. But also, they can step out and shoot perimeter 3-point shots, but they were very good defensive players. You don't have that right now. Frank Kaminsky inside can score, but he's more comfortable on the perimeter, which is where this team's strength is going to be at on the perimeter.
Right.
But they're going to have to shoot better from the free throw line, which was uncharacteristic of this Wisconsin team.
Bizarre.
It just didn't make sense last year. But also from the 3-point line, they were like 178th in the country last year in 3-point percentage shooting. When you don't have an inside game, Steve, you have to be able to knock down the perimeter jump shot.
And you know what? I know you know what you're talking about because you got the inside scoop with your son. But Bo Ryan running the basketball?
Oh, they're running.
Getting up and down the court?
They're running.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I need to see that because I know it's people saying preseason, and then when the season comes, they really revert back to their usual situation. It'd be tough to see Wisconsin get up and down the floor.
Well, their usual situation is in the tournament, regardless of how they get
That's
there.
true.
Kansas, Michigan State, and Duke, the only teams with longer streaks of consecutive NCAA appearances than Wisconsin's 15. Finally, how about a surprise team in the conference?
You know, nobody's talking about the Purdue Boilermakers. Jimmy and I went to practice, and the look on Matt Painter's face from last season to this season, and it was almost like addition by subtraction. He got rid of some guys that didn't believe in their system. They've got the Johnson brothers who come back with a lot of experience, especially Tyrone. And then you've got A.J. Hammonds, who's been having a little issue with the suspension, the 3-game suspension. But if he can come back from that, they've got depth. They've got 2 fifth-year seniors that will really provide some leadership. This is going to be a team that will get back to Purdue basketball. It's going to be tough to get a win in Mackey this season.
They're going to play hard defense. The question is going to be like we had last year, guys, perimeter shooting.
Yep.
With this team. Can someone step in right now at this particular moment, 1 or 2 players, loosen up the defense a little bit? That allows Hammonds and Tyrone to get inside and play well. They're going to need outside shooting, but they're going to play tough defense. We know that.
They always do. Who's going to score? That was the situation last year. And again, I think there might be some more answers this year. They feel they may have addressed that with the freshman class as well. All right, guys, great stuff. Jimmy, I like the effort.
Superman.
I really
Pop the collar.
Really like the effort. Looking forward to this season. Stephen, great to have you on board.
Great to be here.
Very
Thanks,
fired
man.
up.